The views expressed by our guests in the following video are solely the opinions of our guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and/or opinions of the Allah 7 podcast show. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Life and Stuff. And that's right. And you know how we do it right here on Life and Stuff, where we unpick real stories, passion and purpose with real people, okay? And today I am sitting with an absolute powerhouse singer, actress, and creative trailblazer. From child star to Noma award winner, Tamy's voice has echoed across borders. Now let's dive into the music, the message, and the woman behind the spotlight. Tamy, yeah. I'm so excited. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good.
Awesome.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so obviously, before we get into the serious stuff, yeah?
Yes.
We're just going to have like an icebreaker. Right, just a few questions. Answer if you can.
Okay, let's go.
All right, so one word to describe 2025 so far.
Fast.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Dream collaboration.
Chris Brown.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Last song you had on repeat.
Flamenco by Beyonce.
Nice. One Zimbabwean dish you can't live without.
Sunday and high feelings.
Yes. I think there's something and I feel it's because a lot of us love it.
I love it.
And what's your guilty pleasure?
I don't want to say.
It's okay. It's okay.
I think it has to be salsa.
Is it?
Yes.
How often do you have salsa? Like in a week?
Too many times. I'm not even supposed to have it that much, but sometimes I have to refrain from grabbing some salsa on the go. So yeah, I love salsa.
So like you have salsa every day.
There was a time in my life.
Makes sense. Eh?
Yeah.
I also do love salsa, but then I figured because I'm developing kamini.
Right.
Yeah, because I eat too
but
much
you look good
salsa.
though. You look good.
Thank you. Okay, so now let's get into the serious stuff. You've been performing since you were 7, but when did it really click in that you want to do music?
So when my first album came out, that was the 18th Roller Coaster in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
I think then I was very conscious and very aware that this is what I want to do. This is where I want to be. It was my decision completely to then go full on with my music. So I think when I was 18.
Okay, that's when Was
Was
your upbringing musical in any way?
It was very musical.
Okay.
My parents are music lovers.
Okay.
My dad is incredibly talented. I think he's a musical genius in his own right. So there was a lot of music around me.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you got the talent from dad. He passed it on to you.
He'd say that. He'd say that. But my mom would argue otherwise, even though she's not much of a singer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what role did family or culture play in shaping your sound? Because I realized that it has evolved from Dibereke to now.
To what?
To what's this one? The one you did with that Sungura guy. Yes.
Yeah. I think my family has been a big part of my journey right from the inception up until this point here. Like I said, my parents were 110% involved in what I was doing. They were managing me for a really, really long time. And they've been an amazing support structure and a voice of reason in so much of my music, particularly my dad. I think I got a lot of guidance from him on what to do, what not to do, basically giving me the ropes on everything I must know in order to to go forward. So I'm very grateful. And I think one thing they empowered me with was freedom of expression. They allow me to express myself as a creative because we cannot be confined. We cannot be kept in one space. And I think my dad, my mom really, really understood that. And even my siblings as well, they're very supportive. So the freedom of expression allowed me to evolve into my true self at every stage of my life. From Ndibereke, like you're saying, to Beautiful Ndojandiri, to and now we're here like, you know, it's a lot to do with allowing yourself to be the best version of yourself at that point in time. So they played a very big role in shaping who I am and my music.
Would you say it's safe to have your parents very much involved in your career? What are the pros and cons of having them so much involved in your career?
It's the best decision. It's the best. I mean, if you look at all the most successful musicians in the world, half of them, if not most of them, are managed by their parents. Either the mom or the dad or both, if you're privileged enough. I think it's very important. There's a lot that happens behind the scenes that people will not know about, will not see. And I think the protection of people who love and care for you genuinely is important. My mom and my dad being there, like initially I was like, oh no, my parents, I can't have fun because my parents are always there. But now that I'm older, I appreciate, I'm like, thank you, mama, thank you, daddy, for just being there to protect me from so much and to have my back always. Even when they negotiate certain things, certain deals, they negotiate in your favor and with your best interests at heart. I mean, obviously you won't see eye to eye about everything. Like for example, my dressing. My parents and I sometimes didn't see eye to eye about that aspect of my work. But other than that, I think it's very important to have family behind you, especially if they love and they care for you and they support you. It's an essential part of one's journey.
Was it always like a smooth road, or at some point in the beginning you were like, oh no, I want to have my own manager? That's not. Or then you realize, no, this was the best decision.
Smooth, no.
Okay.
Smooth, no. I think it was challenging at times because, like I'm saying, I was growing into my own, so I was becoming my own person. I have my own thoughts. I have my own ideas. They have their own thoughts. They're like, you gotta
do things this way.
You gotta do things the right way, the way that we want you to do it. But it was tough trying to speak up for myself at times. I think it was 2-on-1. It should always be an unfair equation. And sometimes when you're coming from home and you had like an argument that has nothing to do with work, and then they bring it to work. It's not a nice feeling.
I can imagine.
They're like, yeah. Did my work.
Whether you like it or you don't.
Whether you like it or you don't like it. So that dynamic was tough at times because it's like sometimes there was no separating between the parental role and the management role. So it's like, I want to speak up as the artist, but
at the same time you can't, because this is mama.
Yeah, culture.
How can you speak to me?
There's so many things around that. So it was tough because it's like, are we at work? Am I still your daughter? Or I'm the artist. So there were a lot of challenges, but like I'm saying,
eventually
everything worked out the way that it was supposed to work out. I don't regret anything. My parents have made me the person that I am today, and I'm so thankful, so grateful.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before we came to 2018, at 13, you were a Childline ambassador.
Yes.
What did being in that role teach you about your platform?
That as much as I'm a creative, my platform can be used for so much more than just the music. Music is a powerful tool. I always say, and I've heard from other people as well, it's a universal language. And it's powerful in the sense that if you want to get a message across, the fastest way, come up with a catchy song, come up with something that people will never forget. And so working with Childline, it also helped me shape my perspective on so many other things in life. As a musician, you don't just write about your own experiences. You write about things that you see outside of yourself, and it's a toll-free line. If you did not know, Childline is a helpline that is available 24/7 for specifically children who are in need of counseling, who are in need of assistance in any way. And they have a drop of zone or space. And so being in that space, I got to interact with many, many different people from many different walks of life, and so many young children who had very touching stories. And I think that allowed me to appreciate life in a different light, and to learn about other people's experiences, what other young people are going through as well. That kind of shaped my music writing as well, my songwriting. I wrote Ndibereke when I was about 13, 14, 15. And it's only now that I'm older that I realize that it comes from those spaces, those experiences, getting into Childline, helping young children, getting to hear their stories. It only made me want to motivate the next person. It only want to bring around a lot of positivity, because there's a lot of negativity going on in society and a lot of abuse towards young children as well. And so I don't know if that answers you. I can yap all day.
It does. Thank you so much. And you became famous when you were still in school. How was that, balancing fame and still being a normal student in class?
Oh, I have African parents. That was never a problem. It's never ever a problem. My mom was like, "Pano, hapana telebu mamo." So every time we go to visit like relatives or whatever, my mom would be like, "Musie, we are not getting our place." So that was never an issue for me. I think my parents kept me very grounded, even. The dynamic at home. I was never treated any differently. Obviously at school it was like, "Oh, we saw you on TV. That's awesome." My teachers would be like, "You did really well. We saw you on TV." That felt really good, but it was always back to business. And my parents were very strict about school as well. They made sure that I went to school, I got an education, and I'm thankful. Like I said, I'm very grateful. Every experience in my journey was necessary, from the education to my parents being part of my journey and all of that. So there was no special treatment for me.
Even from the teachers, there was no special treatment.
Nothing.
You wouldn't get away with anything. Because, she's a celebrity. Let's live her.
It was even tougher because sometimes in class it was like, "Oh no, you didn't do this task. This is not the stage, so you better get to work." So sometimes it was tough, but it was good for me.
Oh, okay. So from the time that you were 7 to the time you then started recording, how was that space in between for you before you became Tamy Moyo, who's recognized everywhere?
I think that has to be the best part of my journey, because that's where that's the time. That's the time when my parents could tell me to do something and I would do it without questioning it. So I think because of that, they instilled a lot of discipline, knowledge, life lessons. That if anything, my parents taught me that nothing is handed to you for free. So I had to work for my space. And believe it or not, as a child, it can be a lot. It can be overwhelming, but I appreciate all the knowledge that I acquired in that space, all the experience that I acquired in that space, all the important interactions I had with people who'd made it already. Those counted for so much. Those interactions shaped the kind of person I am today, and the kind of musician I am today, the kind of creative I am today. My dad introduced me to a lot of important people when I was very, very young. And, because I was just a child, and they gave a lot of good advice. Yeah.
Okay. When you look at the Ndibereke video right now, how do you feel? Do you cringe at the hairstyle and stuff?
Yes. Yes, I cringe at the hair. I was asking myself, why do I shave my sides?
But I think at that time it was the in thing, I think. Mohawk days and stuff. Yeah. So I think it was making sense.
Oh,
right?
wow. Oh, my goodness.
So looking at Ndibereke, that sound,
yes,
and the sound that you are, I think from Ndibereke, there was a Ndebele song that you did so that I loved so much.
Ndibereke.
Yes. You've had different stages in your music. What inspires that change for you from one stage to the other?
It's growth. It's evolution. We are not meant to stay in the same place.
True.
You're not the same person you were in primary school. I'm not the same person I was in 2016 when I did Ndibereke. I think growth is essential at any point in life. It's not just as a creative, as a musician, just as a human being. The way that I think, the way that I feel about certain music has changed over time. I've grown to love certain sounds more than other sounds. And so I think the difference then is just allowing yourself, like I said earlier on, to what? To experiment, to figure out if this is what I want to do now, or, because we're all doing this life thing for the first time.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. So because you've been in the public space for the longest time, has dating been easy for you?
Oh.
Took a sharp turn, a sharp curve quite quickly?
No, I don't think dating has been an easy experience for me, no. Yeah, I'll leave it at that, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to ask because, also for famous people, maybe we are the only ones who deal with heartbreaks and you guys don't. Have you ever had a heartbreak? Like a terrible one where you lost appetite?
There was a whole family intervention for me. Yes, I have. Yes, I've gone through heartbreak. I have. What else do you want to know about my heartbreak? I can tell.
No, I just want to know the experience around the heartbreak. Yeah. What exactly was going on there? Were you crying every 6 a.m. or what was happening exactly?
Oh my goodness. I remember my best friend had to come because my mom was calling my best friend. She was like, the girl is not okay. Hey. I see Uncle Zane is looking at me like, Guys, the heartbreak almost killed me at some point. But you know what? I was never the same after that. I think heartbreak is a necessary part of life.
It is.
I can't have conversation with you about growth if your heart has never been broken.
Too.
I cannot respect you if your heart has never been broken. Unless you're doing the heartbreaking, then
that's a different story.
There's an even bigger problem there. But yeah, I think that broke me in so many pieces, and but after that, I was never the same, and I think for the better. Can I be the first person to say, I'm grateful I got my heart broken. I'm very, very grateful. Yeah,
I think for most of us, it's an issue of when you're dating a certain person at a certain time in your life, you think this person is your world and everything. Because I remember my first boyfriend at that time when we broke up, I was like, oh my goodness, I felt like I was dying. I felt like he was the world. But now when I look back, I'm like, what was I doing? What was I thinking?
Right.
Ew, look at me now, huh? Look at me now. So I guess there's that as well. In the panguva yacho, when you're going through a heartbreak, dude, I couldn't even sleep on the bed, bruh. For some reason, I felt like, I don't know, bed I was to eat. It's weird.
Girl.
But yeah, that's what heartbreaks do. Is it true though? Some people say when you go through a heartbreak, you only go through a heartbreak one. You never experienced it again. Would you say that's true?
There's major heartbreak. There's the one big one.
There's levels to it.
Yeah, there's the one big one that changes your life for good. And you won't do it again.
You will never repeat it again.
You won't do it again. Then there's obviously many heartbreaks because I think once you discover who you are after such an experience, I think the most heartbreaking thing about the next heartbreak is that you know better. you know better.
You know better.
So it's
Shouldn't have
less
let it
about the
happen.
other person. It's more about holding yourself accountable. Like, but I saw this red flag from my last experience. How does the pattern keep repeating itself? So it's more about accountability. I mean, as I'm growing, I'm starting to discover that the pain from relationships is less about the other person and it's more about me, how I could have done better, how I could have showed up for myself better, how I could have made better decisions, or I could have just simply walked away when I could.
That's
Yeah.
true. Are you that artist also who writes songs out of experiences? Personal experiences?
Yes, but I haven't in a while.
Okay, so after the major heartbreak, did you write any song?
I did, but it was nothing about heartbreak.
Oh, okay.
It was everything about finding my power and staying in my power.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which song is that one? So that when I listen to it again now, I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, why you go?
Usikuweze.
Which one?
Usikuweze.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
kidding.
Why are you like this?
No, I think the whole album, just
Okay.
Bold itself, the album Bold,
Okay.
was everything to do with like walking in my power and finding myself and not being apologetic for who I am and where I am in life. And yeah.
Okay. Speaking of Bold, the album, what does being bold mean to you at this stage of your life now?
As a creative, it just means pushing the boundaries more. I think time and time again, even as you were saying, something is pushing me to keep going and going in a non-conventional route because I'm not wired to conform as a creative. So that's what it means to me right now. And I think that's the biggest, should I say, debate in my mind. It's staying true to who I am and my sound and evolution. But it's like, okay, I also want to be safe in what I say. But yeah.
Okay. And speaking of your sound, it kind of blends Afro-pop, soul, and a bit of fire in it.
Yes.
How do you define your sound?
It's authentic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a very safe answer. And I guess it's...
It's fire too.
Right. Yeah. Songs like Jakadaro, Kelly Calvedura carry both groove and message. How intentional are you about storytelling in your music?
Very, very intentional. And it really depends on what story I'm trying to tell, because there's stories that I hold dearly to my heart, like you were saying, things that I've dealt with on a very personal level. Like Jakadaro, like you mentioned, that was the beginning of Bold. And it's funny that you mentioned that because it's not even on Bold, the album, but it was the first step towards being deliberately and intentionally myself and not apologizing for that. So I hope that answers you.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Transitioning from, I think your dressing kind of changed and you look good, by the way.
Thank you.
Your skin is always, I remember there was a show that we saw you with my manager and we're like, dude, did you see Tammy's legs, bro? Do you like work out? Do you go to the gym? What's your secret?
Do I work out?
You don't?
Sometimes. Like once every 2 years or so. Like, but I think my line of work involves a lot of fitness generally. Like if you're performing, the rehearsing over and over again will require you to like work out. So that it's a different form of working out. It's not your lifting heavy weights and no, it's more like your cardio, you know.
And you're very intentional about your choreography.
Thank
especially
you.
on your live shows.
Thank you.
Walk me through your rehearsal day for a show.
But right before a show, we scream at each other. There's a lot of screaming and like asking each other, "Where are you now? Where are we meeting?" Blah blah blah. But I have an incredible team, and we work well together. Our dynamic is just the most amazing. Before we get to a show, we get together. We, like you're saying, we exercise, stretch our muscles, everything, because you don't want to get on stage and like the body is not warmed up. So we get together, we do a few stretches, and then from then onwards, it's silence right up until the show. Right, Uncle Zane? Yeah.
And I mean, when it comes to choreography, I think you work with a very big team. That's mostly boys.
Yeah.
And you're just a girl. How do you manage to keep that team intact without anyone then saying, no, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm leaving?
Believe it or not, I'm the weakest link in the group. Because everybody else is very disciplined. And like you're saying, I'm very deliberate about the kind of people that I work with, what I do, what's my next move when it comes to my work. And they hold me accountable all the time. Like I'm the weakest link in the group. Like I'm always catching like the routines after everybody else. They're like,
That's hard to believe
now
because you
what's
kill
that?
those moves on stage.
Thank you. But they're a very disciplined group of young ladies and guys. I have a few girls as well in the group.
Yes.
If you've noticed,
I have.
which is essential, which is important. But yeah, they're very disciplined. So I never have to worry about, getting everybody in line.
And you are, for me, you're one artist who does choreography and sings at the same time, but you never lose your breath. You're always like on key and everything. How do you do that? Are you even human, or there's something about you that we don't know about?
Like I'm saying, like I think at every level in life, we have to do our 10,000 hours. I don't know if you've ever heard about that theory, but for you to be considered great, good at what you do, professional at what you do, you have to put in 10,000 hours of work. And I think over the years, I started when I was 7. So I think it has a lot to do with just staying consistent and the constant trying to get myself together. The exercising as well plays a very important part. So I don't want to get into detail about all of that, but I think just do the work. Don't avoid the hard stuff, including gym. Don't avoid the hard stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever written a song that you were scared to release?
That I was scared to release. Yes, a couple. I don't want to mention them because to my surprise, those are the songs that
That did well.
Yeah.
Okay. And I see you've been performing on international stages and all
Yes.
that. Tell me about your first international stage. Few moments before you went on stage, the feeling that you have before you go onto that stage.
You mean now or the very first one?
The very first one.
Okay, so the very first one, international stage, I was 9. That was in New York at Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
Yeah.
Girl, you're like a big deal. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think
that
we
was-
have any artist in Zimbabwe who has ever performed at the Madison Square Garden.
We have.
We do?
We have, yes.
Who is
We
that?
have. I think Mukumba's done Madison Square
Oh,
Garden.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
obviously. Okay.
Yeah, shout out to them. I love
Shout
them.
out to them. They're amazing. They are amazing.
Yeah, but the feeling, honestly, I was only 9.
Yeah, at 9,
So I was
I
like, what
mean-
time is this finishing? Because I need a snack. What time are we going to go to our room so I can play with my friends? But I just remember the feeling on stage. I was like, I want to experience this for the rest of my life. And I don't want to say what my wish was, but I made a wish when I was on that stage. And I know one day it'll come true.
Well.
Yeah.
And when you were now older, very conscious of how you look, how you're going to sound, which stage was it that you went on? Like the international one.
International stage.
There are too many now, you can't even
Yeah,
remember.
there's too many, but I remember there's too many. There's too many. Yeah, there's there's too many. I remember doing, maybe let's talk about Coke Studio. I remember doing Coke Studio about 4 or 5 years ago, and I just was in disbelief that it's happening. I just sat there and couldn't believe that everything I'd worked for was coming together. And I was very thankful in that moment. Obviously very nervous because it's like, I've worked hard to be here, but am I good enough to be here? And those are the conversations I was having with myself before I got on stage. I was like, hey, Mwari, What if they don't love what I'm doing? What if the audience doesn't think I'm that great? What if the music doesn't resonate with the people who are here? Because it's an international audience. So sometimes what works at home might not work outside. So I just had a lot of questions. I won't say doubts, questions about my work. But once I was on the stage, everything made sense.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I saw recently you were performing in the US, I think for the 100th time. You've been there for so many times. How was the feeling seeing the Davido dancing to your music?
At the moment when I was performing, I mean, I couldn't see him. So I had no feelings about that at that point. But after, I was like, oh, okay, so we are doing something right. I remember a lot of people came up to us just after the performance. This is for Bold the World Tour. Again, just so you know, the dates are up on my pages. The US leg is done already. But I remember a lot of people coming up to me and saying, oh, you know what? I just think you just need to keep going. You're going to get there. You're going to get there. And touring for the first time on my own world tour was nothing short of amazing. I just was in disbelief that we are actually doing it. We actually took a very bold. Intentional step to do it. And, you know, when you're a creative, people have opinions. They have opinions. Oh, no, you should have done this. You should have had so-and-so on your team. Is this event even going to have people? But people came out, and I was just so grateful, so thankful. And I just took it as a new opportunity, and I gave it my 100%.
So as a Zimbabwean who's been able to share a stage with different artists from different parts of the world, what do you think Zimbabwean music stands in terms of us breaking into the international market?
We are the future. We are the future. And I'm not even saying that because I'm on your show. No. We are literally the future. The world is waiting for us to blow. Not just me, but the many, many Zimbabweans who are here, who are talented. I always say this in every interview. Everywhere that I've traveled in the world, there is a Zimbabwean behind that big institution. Sure. And that Zimbabwean is killing it. Whether they're an artist, a producer, a director, a songwriter, they are killing it. And the world is just waiting for us to come together and bring this new, fresh thing onto the scene, because the world is searching right now. I mean, from traveling, from experiencing so many incredible things, so many sounds, the world is waiting to hear what we have to offer. We are the future. No joke.
Interesting.
No joke.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you have it. If you're an artist or you want to be an artist, Tamy says,
now is the
we
time.
are the future. Okay. If Tamy can say it, I will. So there's some people obviously who know you from Gonarijo. What drew you to acting, and how different is it from performing on stage?
Yeah, it's very different.
Is it?
It's very different. Acting, I think the director of Gonarijo was Sydney Taibava. She saw me at the Namas, I think, in 2019. And he was like, I've got this character in my mind, and I think you could play the character very well. And so I didn't respond to his messages for a couple of days because I was like, I'm not going to do this. So he got a hold of my parents. It's like, yeah, I'm going to hear you.
They're like, no, don't worry.
You're going to do it. And that's how. So he said, look, send me a tape, a video of you acting out these lines. You never see that video anyway. So I did. I sent in the video, and he was like, oh, this is great. I can work with this. So we came together, and he said, I've got this movie. Read through the script. This is your character. And they took me through a couple of acting lessons and classes, and the rest is history. So we went to shoot our first film, which was called Seiko. It was a short film.
Oh, okay.
Just as a trial, and yeah, you'll never see Seiko on my page.
Is it on YouTube?
It's there. It's there online.
I'm gonna look for it. I'm gonna look for it and watch it.
Yeah.
But is it not
So
the
it's like
same?
a warm up.
Is it not the same though with acting on a music
Video.
Uh-huh.
I think a music video is different because I'm singing. Just
Okay.
the fact that mentally I've registered that I'm singing, it's warm, it's easy to the body. But it's like now I have to cry on cue. That's hard.
That's hard.
That's hard. Maybe in like 2021 I would have cried on cue, you know. But it's tough. That's why I think I respect actors a lot. I think they do such a great job of depicting real life things, and maybe some of them haven't even experienced those things themselves. So shout out to everyone who's an actor and even film directors. It's taxing to the mind, to the body. I have so much respect for them. So yeah, going on a show was a good experience for me. It was a learning curve. It was pushing myself out of my comfort zone, or my parents pushing me out of my comfort zone, whichever way you want to look at
But
it.
it worked out.
And the director as well, yeah.
Is acting something you would also want to pursue at some point in your life, or?
Yes, I would. I just need a couple more lessons, I think. I would love to do it again.
But with is it Ngege? You did quite well. It was believable, you know. It was like
Maybe I was going through some things.
so it was easy to tap into the character.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So you've partnered with brands like Zimoko. I think you're the
Yes.
first ever to work with them.
Yes.
Girl, you are amazing.
Thank
So how
you.
do you decide which brands to align with?
Do we share the same vision?
Okay.
Does their vision align with what I want to do, where I want to be tomorrow? You don't just plan for the now, you plan for the tomorrow as well. So is it mutually beneficial to both parties as well? Do you feel I can contribute to your brand just as much as you can contribute to mine? And I think it has to be a win-win for everyone.
And so far, it's been amazing working with that brand.
It's been
'Cause
incredible.
you look so beautiful in those cars. Girl.
Thank you.
So you like
Thank
wake
you.
up one day and be like, no, I want to use a different car now. Please give me. Is that how it works?
I mean, they've been very good to me, very good to me, and yeah, sometimes it works like that. Sometimes it's
Nice
like,
life problems,
hey,
I tell you.
today I would like to go to this event in this specific car. They're very open to it. Yeah.
Yeah, ne? Yeah, in my next life, I can't say when I grow up because I'm already old. So in my next life, I want to be you, Shem. So do you ever feel pressure to maintain a certain public image, especially as a
Yes.
young woman in the entertainment industry?
Yes. I feel it's a lot of, it is pressure. I don't want to say more. It's pressure.
And how do you handle that pressure? And of course, criticism at any given time. Because if there's one thing we're good at as Zimbabweans, yes. How do you handle that?
Just have a filter system, have a strong support structure around you, and whatever it is that you believe in, stay grounded in that. If you're a Christian like I am, stay grounded in that, and what it says you should do that, because there is a power much higher than myself, a power that allows me to sit here today in this interview, to go to work, to be able to get on stage. And I have to stay rooted in that. If God is the giver of gifts, and he gave me this gift for a reason, so I have to know what to take in and what not to take in, and to know my sole purpose in life, to know what am I called to do. And I might hear this and this from the next person, but the most important thing is, what is your calling? What is your purpose in life? Stay rooted in that.
And also, how do you avoid drama? So I think you're also one of the few people I know who have no drama. But obviously, because we are all in this life, there are obviously things that happen behind the scene. But how do you avoid it getting out to the people and all?
Just having a good support system around you. I had my days when I didn't feel 100 at all. I had my little tantrums or whatever.
You speak so soft. Do you even shout at any point? I wonder what
I
you do when you're angry.
I do. Don't want to know.
So I'm telling you, your voice will be somewhere there.
Yeah.
Really? That's so hard to believe, though. Or should we ask Uncle? Uncle, does she ever get mad? Uncle doesn't want to get involved.
I'm not a morning person, so in the morning I'm usually just like very down. But yeah, I just have a strong support system around you. That's it.
Okay. So if there's someone who has never heard of your song, never heard about you, what song would you want them to listen to from you? First timer.
If they've never listened to me, I'd say, I don't want to say it, but there's too many. But I would say top of the list has to be Kwandinoba. Because there's such a powerful story behind that song. And even the space I was in at the time and the message behind the song. I celebrate who I am. I celebrate how Zimbabwean I am. I don't try to hide it. I don't try to pretend to be someone I'm not. I'm very proud to be a Shona Ndebele girl. I'm very proud to be a young Zimbabwean woman who's on the move. And I'm proud of the country where I come from. I love our food, our people, our culture, how we handle whatever it is that we handle as a people. The good, the bad. I would never choose to be born elsewhere. I love home. And the food here is...
Your sons are in high fields.
Man, every time I travel, I'm like, I want to go home. I miss the food from home.
No, Kwandinoba,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful song.
And
It's a
then
beautiful
the
song.
other song would be Usiku Wese.
Yeah, it's okay. You have collaborated with, maybe from us, the audience, would say the most difficult people, right? This is me saying it. This is me, not her, right? That's also, this can get me into trouble. Okay, let's sketch difficult people. I come in peace, okay? You have done collaborations with the likes of Takura, Dobodon, Silent Killer,
Mark Wazi.
Mark Ngwazi, right? I would want to ask specifically the collaboration you did with Silent Killer. I've interviewed Silent Killer.
We
so
saw,
many
everybody
times.
saw it.
Yeah, you know. So how was it working with him?
It was a very different experience. Very, very different in a positive light. He's really cool people.
He is.
He's really cool people. We spent a couple days together just hanging out, talking about work, talking about music. And we had pretty decent conversations. And he's very chilled.
Okay.
And he's funny too.
He is.
He's funny.
Very, very funny.
Yeah.
Whose idea was it to collaborate with him? It was yours.
It was the team and my producer. Yeah.
I love that. For me, really, your collaboration. The first time you hear his lines, you cannot help but laugh. That guy is so hilarious. So hilarious. Sorry. What did he say? Yeah. Sorry, Magamira Ndimbe. But for me, really, that was the second time interviewing him. I would really say at any given time, he really is cool people. He is cool people.
He is.
And then the collaboration with Mark Ngwazi. How was that one for you? How was the experience?
It was, I love the fact that it was just, Mark is he loves what he does. And it's so good to work with people who enjoy what they do. Because, you know, you have your days when you're like, I don't want to do this. But I've never seen him in that state. He was very happy to jump onto the project. And obviously with the help of my team and a good friend of ours, Uncle Taff, everybody just came together and we said, we need someone who will take this song, you know, and own it. and bring new life to it. And so we thought about Mark, and he was very happy to jump on. He just said, what time do you need me in the studio? And he came through. And then we said to him, no, we want to shoot the video, blah, blah, blah. And he said, when's the date?
Wow.
Then he came. And he was just good vibes on set. Like, everyone was laughing. He's just, I love him. He's good energy. Yeah.
I think I would love to say kudos to your team, because most of your collaborations is completely the opposite of what you do. Collaborations that we don't even expect.
I'd love to say kudos to my team too.
They're really amazing. They're really amazing.
Thank you.
So before we wrap this up, what's a failure or challenge that made you stronger as a person or an artist?
It's going to sound so weak as a point. But being a young woman, navigating life and trying to stay on track, it's two things. It's being at my lowest. Despite what you see, success is a sum total of so many wins and losses at the same time.
True.
No one ever posts their losses. No one wants the world to see their losses. But sometimes for creatives, our losses are out in the public for people to see. It might not necessarily be a relationship. Sometimes it's even a project, a song. And I have a couple of projects where I felt like they could have done better, but they didn't do that. And I got to a point where I felt like I wasn't going to be able to get out of that space. But I'm so thankful that a lot of people spoke life into me. My parents spoke life into me. My siblings spoke life into me. I'm grateful for the people that even walked out on me at the time. I've had my fair share of people who said, look, you know what? You're great, but this is not for me. Or I don't think this is going anywhere. I've had a fair share of people say such things to me, and it broke me to the last. But for every door that closes, there is a door that opens. True. And I'm grateful for the season I went through at a certain point in my life. I don't want to say which point, where I was completely isolated. Like, I had no one in my corner except my family. And I just remember saying to myself, what is the next move? What is the next thing? You know, but everything works out the way that it's supposed to work out. And like I said earlier on, I was not joking. Number 2, I'm grateful for heartbreak. I am. Because I would have never known who I wanted to be, who I'm supposed to be, what route I'm supposed to take. For me to appreciate myself at my strongest, I had to see myself at my weakest. And as a young woman, people are watching. Everyone can see. And I'm going. That's tough. It's like so heartbreaking because you're going through that as a creative and people can see that. Crazy, right? I was in the pits, but I'm grateful that I found myself.
Happened.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's right to step in a heartbreak. But here's one thing that you always make sure: when you're on stage, no one can tell what you're going through because you always give it your best.
Thank you.
I think you're one of my favorite performances ever. Anytime I go to a show where there's Tamy, I make sure I repost that on my story because
Thank you.
I'm forever stunned. What do you mean? How does she have so much energy and still the vocals still come out so beautifully? So I can only imagine that when you're going, I'm just letting you know that even if you're going through Ugoa or departure and all that, we never see that.
Thank you.
Because you always make sure you show us the polished side of you, and you always all your acts are always amazing.
Thank you.
So if you were to speak to 13-year-old Tamy, what would you say to her?
Don't second guess yourself. Don't second guess yourself. Each one of us has a unique purpose, calling, and sometimes the vision is only clear to you. If you're constantly seeking for approval from other people, you will never walk in your light. You will never walk in your greatness and your power. because that vision belongs to you and you alone. So don't second guess the things that you are thinking, and start now, not tomorrow, not yesterday, obviously, not in a few days. Start now.
Profound. Thank you. You inspire a lot of young girls out there. What do you hope they see when they look at you?
I hope they see truth in what I do. I used to be afraid for people to see the other side of me, which is pretty down sometimes, but it's part of the experience. It's part of living. It's part of life. No one has it together. So I hope that they see truth. I hope that they see someone who is consistent, ambitious, driven, someone who is focused and disciplined, and someone who works hard. Yeah.
There you have it, young girls. I hope you heard that. What's the best advice you've ever received in life that works for you now and will forever continue to work for you?
My dad once said, it's a scripture in the Bible. It says, the race is not for the swift. And time and chance. Yes. And I remember there was a time in my life where I used to tell my dad, like, I work hard. I do this. I do everything I'm supposed to do. Why is, this and this not coming together? And he always used to say, the race is not for the swift. When it's your time, it's your time. And I'm living in my prayers right now. And I'm so thankful for my dad and the things that he instilled in me, the discipline, and just that everything happens in its right time.
True.
Even failure.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming too. Before you go, let's say we put all the Zimbabweans, the Americans, all your fans all over the world in one room.
Yeah.
And you were to address them. What would you say to us, your fans? What do you want from us right now?
First and foremost, I would say thank you for being part of my journey. In your numbers, thank you for standing up for me, for speaking up for me sometimes, online mostly. But buckle up, because it only gets better from here. Just thank you for being on this journey with me. And go and subscribe to my YouTube.
Okay.
Subscribe to my YouTube and go and watch the Usiku as a video. And I cannot wait to give you the next body of work. I'm very excited. I'm always happy to give you new things. But thank you to everybody who supported my journey. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for your support, your viewership, your listenership, for all the messages that you send. Even in my DMs, I see them. I read them. Some of them I reply them when I have time and when I can, but I see everything, and I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful to everybody who genuinely appreciates what I do.
Okay. And your social media handles for the first timers, which I think that will be great, but yeah.
It's Tamy. Tamy
with one M.
With one M. Tamy Moyo. Tamy Moyo on Instagram, Facebook, your X, Snapchat as well. On YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube. That's Tamy Moyo Global. It's still Tamy with the one M. Yeah.
Okay. All right. My last words. You always look so amazing. Your makeup, your hair, your clothes, everything.
Thank you.
Who does your wardrobe?
It used to be my mom. She's very great at putting outfits together.
She's amazing.
Yeah, but I have a strong team of stylists as well.
Okay.
Shout out to Ranga. Shout out to Keith. Shout out to myself, because I also know what I want today.
Okay. So you never have like a random day where, because I've never seen you dressed down. Have I? I've never.
I try my best not to. I mean, I gotta show up my best always.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, kudos to your stylist. Kudos to Mama Face because I mean, it's just
Yes.
want to start it. So, yeah, kudos to your stylist and to you also.
Thank you.
Because also they say makeup I got gonna pan fun you get. So that means you also take good care
I've never
of
heard
your
that.
skin. You have never heard that. I'm telling you. So that means you also take good care of your skin and everything. Guys, please,
That's
guys,
wild.
confirm.
That's
Confirm.
so wild.
Is it? You've never had the same when you put makeup?
What are you trying to say?
It's serious. Makeup is only there to enhance the beauty that's already there, right? Ayingamgoshi genje. Patoritik yono. It cannot do that. You know, batirana newe.
I hope you cut this out because I can't control my laughter.
I'm joking, guys. But I'm not joking. It's the same that people have said. Okay.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
All right. Thank you so much for coming to. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And the new body of work, when is it coming out? Are you allowed to say
Very
the date?
soon. Just
Okay.
subscribe, keep subscribing, and share the music as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And your acting career, when can we expect another movie with Tamy Moyo?
I cannot say at the moment, but it's hopefully very soon.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. But you're obviously looking forward to it. You have rehearsed and whatnot.
Yeah,
It's just you and Nisha Teeth.
Yes, 2 females.
Yeah, ne? You've done the thing, my girl.
Thank you.
You have lived the life. But you obviously, are you happy? Are you ready for the performance?
I'm very excited about the show. It's so good to see a lineup of like fresh young faces, people who are not afraid to be themselves. I'm all about authenticity. I'm all about people who are fearless in their quest for success. And it's just good to see young, especially young musicians, just coming out there, being bold and saying, we're here, we're present, show up for us, and not being afraid to collaborate. They say at the highest level of success, there is collaborating. And this is what I love to see. So I'm just thankful to be a part of the lineup. And yes, to those who are coming through, it's going to be a good one. So yeah, I'm excited, very, very excited.
Your parents did a very good job raising you because you have so much wisdom. Love that. Love that. Guys, you know me, I talk until tomorrow. So yeah, to avoid this, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your love and support. Please make sure that we follow Tamy Moyo on all social media platforms. Now remember, it's Tamy, Tamy with one M. If there's 2, it's not her. Please, just block and delete, okay? And let's subscribe to her YouTube channel. So let's do that and watch her music. Follow, like, subscribe, share. Because I mean, she's even wakavata ukavunzwa kunzi, who is the female artist in Zimbabwe that you know? I'm sure the first name that comes is Tamy Moyo. So we can't argue about that. She deserves the support. She needs the support. Let's support her as much as we can. I forever say this. Let's do that now. Let's support her as much as we can. Okay? Otherwise, from me and the crew behind the scenes, thank you for your love, your likes, your comments. I see them, the bad and the good. We see them. Please keep them coming. Thank you. From me and the crew behind the scenes, it's goodbye for now. Ciao.